Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So last week we did all the prep work and masking. Now it's going to be time to finally get some paint on that top. Alright, so we're just about ready to paint. We're all masked up. Now I'm going to take a tack cloth and we are going to give this thing a rub down. And you'll see we still have a decent amount of dust on there. So we're going to give it a wipe down until there's no more dust, then we're going to spray our paint. Alright, so now it's time for our first coat of paint, or in this case some primer. So we're going to shake this guy up and hit it. This is a white primer. Then the next thing we're going to do is a textured paint. I did want to do a bed liner sort of thing, but it's pretty much impossible to find white bed liner that's, you know, not $200. So I'm going to try out the like Rust-Oleum textured paint and see if that has enough texture. If not, there's some clear stuff that we can spread on there on top. And then we're going to do a proper top coat. For that reason, I could do black bed liner, but I really don't want there to be any chance for stuff to chip off and show black underneath. So we are going to just keep doing layers of white and other light colors. That way we don't have any bleed through. So I'm going to keep shaking this paint and then we'll start spraying. Alright guys, our light coat of primer is dry. It's actually very dry. This is almost a week later. The reason that it's almost a week later is I've been waiting for paint. So this is the paint I got. It is the Rust-Oleum textured in flat white. My hope is that this texture will be visible enough and textury enough to kind of simulate the original factory texture. If not, they do sell stuff for like coating your rocker panels, and I have seen some clear bed liner, but we're getting up to like 50 bucks a can, and this needs more than a can's worth, and I don't really want to spend $1,000 on rattle can bits. So hopefully this works out good, so we shall see. Alright guys, next day the top has dried. I do have some of that texture on there. It's a little bit finer than I would have liked, but it is doing a halfway decent job of, well, adding texture. But this isn't the last step. The last step I'm going to do is roll on basically the same paint but not textured in a flat white with a foam roller. That's what I did on the other top, and it looked pretty good. So I'm going to do it to this one, because more paint, more layers never really hurt, especially when we want longevity and durability on something that's sitting outside. Because, well, the old paint just basically disintegrated over the years. So the more we put on there, the better it'll be. Alright, got the flat white paint. Already shook it up to mix it. Alright, so there we go. That should be the last coat of paint. So let's wait till tomorrow and see what it looks like when it's dry. Alright, new day, everything's nice and dry. So let's pull that paper off and we'll get to see what it looks like. Go. One side done. Take a look at the top as a whole. So there we go. It's looking pretty good. Obviously good from a distance. The joke being good from far, but far from good. There are definitely a lot of imperfections and things I do differently. But it is definitely better than exposed fiberglass and nastiness everywhere. So there's a lot that I'd do different with this that I would do next time. Firstly, that whole Bondo fiberglass stuff, I wouldn't use it. I thought maybe because it had some fiberglass in it, it would kind of work and play well. For the really small stuff, I probably would actually just use regular Bondo. It'll fill those gaps a little bit better, but the better option would have probably been to actually use some real fiberglass resin, which you can get pretty easily. I think you can buy it at Walmart. And I would have just done kind of a brush-on skim coat of that over the top. It would have been less sanding, less mess, and it would have actually held the fiberglass together. The other thing is I needed a lot more, probably needed more of that Bondo glass than I really used. Even though I used 2 cans, there's a few spots where I missed. I thought the texture would kind of blend in and kind of cover some of it, but unfortunately it doesn't. So there's a couple gashes, or what look like gashes, but are actually just spots where I missed. Where like when I spread it, it left kind of a void. So I could have gone over that a few more times. But I think all of that would have been avoided if I just used regular fiberglass resin to fill in those cracks. Secondly, while the texture is pretty good on the textured stuff, it's a little bit finer than I would have liked. So maybe I would have splurged for some actual like truck bed liner, probably the clear stuff, or I think I saw some white, but again, I think it was expensive. So yeah, trying to save some money, and it kind of bit me in the ass. But it does look better. I will stick this on the truck, and I will enjoy it. And finally, the other thing I could have done is what I did on the other hardtop, which I actually did just before doing this one, which was literally just, I just took the last step, that flat black or flat white paint from a can, rolled it on with a foam roller, just straight over the fiberglass. Just didn't even bother trying to encapsulate anything, just stuck paint to the top in a pretty rough shape. And it actually looked pretty good. It's not quite as good as this, but it's also a little bit better in other ways. But this will definitely get me by, and again, it does look presentable. Definitely improved from where we started, but there are a few things I just would have done a little different, and that I might do different down the road. I'm still not fully ready to do all the body work and paint the Blazer, but when I do that, I'll probably revisit this top. And when I do revisit it, I'll probably take the glass out, clean up the edges, take care of the top by just by itself, and then put the glass in with new rubber, because new rubber is never really a bad idea, especially on an old car with kind of crusty seals. So anyway, that's going to be it for today. I hope you learned something. This time it wasn't really a learn what I did, but it's learn from my mistakes and learn how not to do it. Hopefully this was beneficial. If not, sorry. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Alrighty then. So now we are going to spray. This right here is our primer. So I'm going to hit that with... Alright, so now it's time for our first coat.